Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. This is the Red Bud Farmer. My name's Chris and today I'm going to be trying to put my pile of parts from my new knotters on my New Holland 275 baler. This pile of parts here, and try and put it back together. Now, to help me, because I was an idiot and didn't take any pictures before I took it apart, and if anybody else decides to work on one of these old balers, I would highly recommend getting a set of these. Now this is for a 273, but they are very close in comparison, 275 and the 273. And as you can see, it's pretty much a complete set. I mean, it's got everything you'll need. You have a complete service guide just for the knotters themselves, parts catalog, service manual for the gearbox and the feeder gearbox drive, the axle, and just an operator's manual, which has a ton of information in it also. Okay, so for the purpose of today's video, I'm going to be using obviously the knotter service manual and also the parts catalog, because it has a nice, let's see if I can find the page, it's got a very nice blown up picture of the knotters and all the parts in order. Here it is. You got that nice picture there. Very detailed. I mean, obviously it's a parts catalog. You get a nice old manuals are very nice for having exploded views of things. And you also have in the knotter section, the knotter repair manual, you also have this. This gives you all your measurements for your washers, your spacers, and then it has this table with all your measurements on it too, that corresponds with a letter over here, which corresponds with a letter down here. So our first two pieces are going to be this, and this. I should get some cardboard and set this on so I'm not scratching these pieces. There we go. Not that this baler isn't getting restored, just freshening things up. It was worn out. My dad had used it for years and then tried using it last summer, and he had some problems with it, and then it just kind of quit working. So, first order of business is to get this arm onto this brake disc, which is going to go, well, actually, I'll get my manual out. So, I'm going to be putting on these parts right here. This brake disc, this arm, this mount that mounts it to the baler right here, and this thing that holds the brake. Oh, almost lost you there. So I'm going to take this slide it on from this end. So that's going to be my bottom. Just like that. And then this brake disc is going to go right here, maybe. Oh, I got to take that out. I'll just take this back off this way. I think it'll be easier just to do it like this. This is actually how I took it apart, was like this. I believe that's how it's supposed to go. Nope, it's supposed to go like this. There we go. Okay, I'll slide this all the way down. Actually, oh, I bumped you and I didn't even realize it. Oh no. You didn't see anything. I gotta look at my book here. Yeah, this is not supposed to be here. This little spacer is in the wrong spot. So I gotta slide this all back off. Slide this guy off. By the wear marks, I'd say this is supposed to go right here. So I'm going to put this back on. Then I'll get a hammer, straighten this back out, and put it on the other side between this brake disc and this bracket. Okay. Just like that. And then this can go on like this. Yes. just like that. And then this arm is going to go on. Maybe. Might have to end up spreading that out somehow, because oh, I put it on backwards. I was trying to put it on backwards. That would be why. That's better. Okay. Now I can bolt these back up through this way. This brake disc bolts to the back of this arm, which actuates there's a big rod that goes down to the needles, and this arm actuates that rod to run the needles up and down. Maybe if I get it lined up just right. There it goes. Now I just got to do the other one. And then I can tighten it down. Okay, for the next part here, I got to take these two washers. Now, actually, they're spacers. Put them in here. And then take this bolt, lock washer, and this big washer here. Put it in here. And then tighten this down. And this is going to kind of help set everything up so that this is properly spaced on the shaft to this piece here. And that's going to do it for that. Now my next piece is going to be a spacer and this guy right here, and then another spacer. So this is your cam gear, and this drives your knotters. So I need to grab a spacer, a thin spacer. Got all my stuff over here on the other side of the basement. My spacers and everything. All right, coming back. So I tried to leave as much of this together as I could. So here's my two thick spacers. These are going to go between the cam drives and the knotters themselves. And then you have all these thinner shims. I think these are an inch and, no, these are an eighth. I can't remember. 1/32, I think. Let me get that info for anybody that might be curious. Let me look through my book here. Yes, right here. On this diagram, right here. 1/8 inch washer, right there between the cam drive and the knotter body itself. And then there's another one here between these two, and then 1/16 of an inch are these little spacers. Some of them, and some of them are 1/32. And as you can see, as required, and they're all that way, including those two shims that I had to put down in here, which is what I had to do down here on this end. The bolt, the lock washer, the big nut, or the big washer, and then these little shims, these two little shims I had to put in. And then there's another shim here, and then I'll have to put another shim right there. So I'm just going to leave this out so I know what I have to do. I believe one shim is what came off of here. And then grab one of these knotter cams, a keyway, put the keyway in. Get this situated a little bit better there, like that. Then just drop this on. Oops. Okay, let's try that again. Maybe. This is a new keyway, so it may be a little tight. I have to get a hammer. Get a little tappy tap on that. Get it to go down. Although this isn't a restoration, I still want to keep this. There we go. Dropped right on there. I want to keep this paint. I still want to try and keep this paint nice. I want to keep this baler covered up and try and keep it somewhat nice. Keep the rust off of it. Now the next spacer is going to be one of these big ones, thicker one. I'll hold two. So here's the difference between the two. This is your thicker one, and there's only two of these, and then here's your thin ones. So I'm going to put the thick one on, and then I'll put my knotter body on. This is the inboard knotter. This is going to be the one that's towards the twine box on the baler, if it wants to cooperate. Maybe. Don't know why you're so tight. There we go. Okay. And it's on backwards. These gears are supposed to mesh here. Okay, let's try it again. Nothing like doing it twice. That is much better because it actually went on the right way, like it was supposed to. Okay. Now that that one's on, we are at least somewhat assembled here. I'm going to set this off to the side because the next course of action is going to be rebuilding this knotter. So in this one, I have to replace this gear because, as you can see, it's all worn out. Here's the new replacement right here. This surface right here should be nice and flat, and as you can see, this one, try and get it in the right spot here. It's a little rounded, a little worn on this back edge. And I also have to replace these right here. These little fingers. They're called a twine holder. It helps hold the twine inside this twine disc right here. I'll go get that part and I will show you what it looks like. Pretty much everything I'm using is actually genuine Case IH parts, so they're all New Holland. This, I only take it out of the bag. This is your part right here. This is a twine holder. And this is what a brand new one looks like. And when I did that knotter over there, when I rebuilt it, it was worn out. This was all worn back into here. And we were having trouble with that knotter. And that's the whole reason why I started rebuilding this knotter set. So, if anybody needs this part number, I don't know what it is, but I will try and get the part number off of Messick's. So if anybody that needs it is watching this video, you can have it. So, I am going to try right now and do this little gear right here. This pin, these little pins, as soon as I find them, are little locking pins. And the part number for these is right here, 80837. And they are these little guys right here. As you can tell, maybe, this side here has little ridges in it. And the one side is actually, focus, focus. This side is smaller than this side. And that's how it locks it in. So I'm going to pound this one out. Make sure you can see. Move things a little bit here. Pound this one out. Like that. And I'll take this gear off as soon as I find my bigger punch. It's around here somewhere. Hello, there you are. Big punch. Take the big punch. Knock this off. Okay. Now that I have this off, maybe I'll show you a little bit better. See how this one on the right is worn and it's not flat, and how the one on the left is flat? Yeah, that's why I'm replacing it. Now I'm going to take my pin, turn this around, and put the pin in. Maybe. Might not be in far enough. Okay. Try now. And then I'll just take this, drive it home. Make it nice and flat on this surface. Okay. Now that I have those replaced, next, I need to replace this finger, and I was going to replace this spring, but I don't know. I have a new one. I thought about replacing it, but I don't know. I think I'll be fine not replacing this spring. I think I'll be fine just replacing this. Just replacing this twine holder, which requires you to take this. Let me get this a little closer. There is a pin down in here. Get a light.
Hey, Adam. It took me long because somebody blocked the road.
Aha, light. That's what I want. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Here's a pin. Right? Nope. Right? There. That little pin. That, you gotta trim the edges off of it and punch it through the other side, and then you can take that off. Okay, so first, well, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to be grinding this little pin out so I can punch it out and change this out. But before I do that, I'll show you these part numbers. These are, so number 35. That is right here, 35. Part number 95644 is for the twine holder. So go ahead and get my glasses on, start grinding away. Maybe I can hit that out now. Let me see. Nope, didn't quite take enough off. I think I might have to change out my little grinder bit there, because I don't think this one's gonna work. Go see what else I have that'll work better. No, no. Ooh, maybe. This one might work. This one's here a little smaller. Might actually work better. See what I can do with it. I don't remember the other one being this hard to try to do. I don't know why this one seems harder. Try that. Oh, I think it's moving. Yes, it is. Alright, I'm going to take this off. This little spring that holds the tension on that little finger. And then finish tapping it out. Oh no. I forgot I have to take that off. Oh. I gotta take the little gear off. Well, aren't I just in a pickle now? I gotta get this little pin back in. Now I can't get it back in. I just need you to go in enough. I just need to clear the little gear. That may be enough. Let's see if I can spin this around. Nope. How about this way? Ooh. Okay, that might work. Make sure if you're doing this, you take into account where this gear is. This flat side goes where this little thingy is, because when I did the other one, I put it back together backwards. And I had to take it back apart. Okay, that might be enough that I can wiggle that out of there. And I can go ahead and finish getting the other one out. Getting this pin. Okay, now that that's out, I can get this out of here. Hopefully. Maybe. Okay. So, this is what I was talking about whenever it's worn. Really, really bad. That's how badly it's worn. It's not too bad, but makes a big difference in holding the twine in there. So, go ahead and put the new one in. And I'm just going to clean this pin up real quick so it slides in easy. Okay, that'll help. Then I'll put this back in. And later, when this is on the baler, I'll take a big punch down here on the bottom side and a punch here and flatten the edge back out so the pin stays in here. And I'll have to do it on both of them because I didn't do it on that one. They actually recommend that you do it on the baler. That's what it says in the manual. Okay. Now, to do this, tighten this back up so the spring stays in there and the little holder stays in there. Okay, now to put this back in. Put this back in the little hole. Put the gear in. Give it a little tap. Get it back in. Make sure on this one that I am in the right spot. Yes, the little wheel is where it's supposed to be. Now I just need to make sure I can get my hole lined up. So I just need to bring it up a little bit more. A little bit more. That is going to do it right there. And then put one of these pins back in. I'll put one of the better looking ones in. Uh-oh. Okay, this. Nope, too far. This is all done. Now I just need to clean it up, paint it, so I can put it on. So, I'm going to start cleaning. Okay, so it's like a full week later from when I started making this video. And I went ahead, in that time, went ahead and painted this other knotter. And I went ahead and put this other cam drive on for this knotter, for this outboard knotter. And I went ahead and measured it. And in the book here, it says that the distance between the two, let me try and get this into focus. Right here, you're going to look at measurement C. You're going to measure from the face that the gears are going to ride on between the two, and go to the column up here for the 275 baler, and that's going to be 7 inches. So if I come down here, push this all together so it's nice and tight, we're going to come up with just under 7 inches. It's 6 3/4, well, 6 7/8 actually, which I'm okay with that. It's close enough. It's an old baler. Not looking to get everything accurate on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this outboard knotter on. Okay, so it's on now. Oh, I forgot to put the spacer on. There's a spacer that goes in here. It's going to be this one. It's going to be your thicker spacer. It's going to go in here. I'm not even sure you guys can see what's going on here. No. Let me angle this up a little bit. There we go. That's better. Okay. Go ahead and put this spacer on, and then I'll go ahead and throw this other knotter on. Okay. There's that one. Next, in line, if I can get this to stay upright, maybe somehow would be nice. Yeah, that'll work. So the next piece that's going to go on is another set of spacers, which I think, out of my little collection of spacers down there, I think it's going to be 3 spacers, and that's kind of what the picture shows too, is 3. And then it's going to be this little doohickey right here, which I'll grab it off the parts thing here, is going to be this. This here operates your what are they called? Let me look in my book because I forget what they're called. So give me a second here. Let me look through my parts book. Yeah, it's trying to get this done sooner, but weather and being super tired when I got home from work. Aha. It actuates the cam fingers, the twine fingers, and they're like a little hook. So when the needles come up and bring the string up, they come over and bring the string over, help bring the string over into the duckbills so that it can be tied, is what this does. So I'm going to need 3 spacers. Small keyway, and then this. Make sure it's oriented right, because this is going to go down. It should. Now, mind you, I've taken this apart like a few months ago, so I got to remember how this all goes. Let me see if I can figure it out in here. Look at one of the pictures. Okay, so this is backwards. It needs to go this way. So I need a hammer. Try and get the keyway to catch here. There we go. Okay. Get everything closer together. And let's see. Now I need another washer. I need 1.6 millimeters or 1/16 of an inch. Okay. Now I need to put on my other mount, my outside mount, which is going to be this one. It has some of the operating mechanism on it for the clutch. So it's going to go out. And then we have another washer, inch and 32nd, or 1/32. 0.8 millimeters. And then after that we have the inner part of it's actually the clutch itself. Well, it's the inner side of the clutch, I should say. And then I'll need another keyway. Let me turn everything over here. Try to. Okay, I'll put my other keyway in. Give that a little tap. Get that in there. Try and give you guys a better view here. Angle it back down. Maybe. There we go. Okay, now I'll put this back on. I think I'm putting that on the right way. I need to make sure. I want to make sure. I don't want to put it on backwards and then have to take it back off. Yes, that is the right way to put it on. All this goes outside. It's just really tight. Shouldn't be that tight. And I don't know why. It is. Must be a little bit of a lip right here. Because that's not the only thing that I've had trouble getting on this. Okay. So this thing, I think, goes over here. Yes. Just push everything together. Stand it up. That way it'll be easier here. Okay. Now that that's done, I need to put on the other side of the clutch, which is going to be this piece right here. This is what this continuously spins on this shaft. This continuously spins on this shaft and gets driven by the chain. There's a little tab looking thing that rides on the outside out here. On the outside of the gear. This is going to have to go in more. Yeah, it's got to go in more. Okay, there we go. That's better. That's where it should be. Okay, I need to put a spacer in there. Just one, right here. Put my spacer on, and then I'm going to have to tighten this bolt up. Right here. So let me go get a wrench, and I will tighten that bolt. There we go. Right size there. I need another 3/4. Back to the toolbox we go. Three-quarter. Well, this should work. This also helps tighten the stack up along with this over here. Now I can put this on. Put this on like that. That's the trip mechanism right there. And this sits, this. So this is supposed to sit here. This little pawl is supposed to sit here. And if it lets this continuously spin without tripping this at all. So now I need to get, there's a big gear that rides right here. I need to get the gear. There's my gear. My gear on. And then put this thing on. This is what locks that big gear. This is what locks this gear onto the shaft and spins the clutch. And this, all that connects it is there's a shear bolt right here. It goes right here into the gear. Put that there. And that's how it should look if there was a bolt in it. I have to get a bolt for it yet. And then this big washer right there. And then I have to get a cotter pin and put a cotter pin in there. So let me go back to the toolbox and get a cotter pin and a pair of pliers. Oh, well, there's the original cotter pin. I'll just use it. Just use the original. Why not? I really don't care if it's all greasy because it's going to get greasy anyways. So, put that in now. And then the tabs. And that is pretty much it. Other than putting the other knife and arm in here and getting that all together, and tightening. I gotta tighten this bolt over here for the brake disc. Other than that, it's all together. So yeah, there it is all together. I just gotta put this in. I need to get a new one of these because this one is pretty well. It's pretty well done. There's no glass. The numbers don't turn right in it. Got to get this put back in. I said tighten this bolt up, and it'll be ready to go. The next part that I'm going to be working on, I'll actually show you in the book here. If I can find the right page. Let's see. It's going to be this. The feeder. The finger feed. This is what I'm going to be working on next. This trolley right here that runs back and forth. And what this does is whenever the hay comes up to pick up this, instead of like some of the older balers used an auger, it has this finger feed system that rides on. There's two rails in here that it rides on. And this is going to be what I work on next, is this finger feed system. I got to replace the fingers. There's little roller bearings. This number 14. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, I think, is all that I thought there was more. Okay, maybe there's just 6. But anyways, 6 of these roller bearings that I have to get and try and replace. and all these fingers need replaced because one of these in here, one of these 6, broke a long time ago when my dad was bailing with it, and so they need. I'm just going to replace them all, so I know that they're all good. They're all brand new, and replace. I got to replace these springs. There's a couple missing. I'm just going to replace them all. These wear blocks on it look okay. So yeah, so stay tuned for whenever that's going to happen. Hopefully it's soon. Those roller bearings are $75 a piece, so that gets kind of pricey after a while. So hopefully I can, whenever I have enough money and I have extra money, I can actually, you know, get them all and try and get it done as soon as I can. Next video may be, I have a couple other projects I need to work on. I have a Ford 930 finish miller, which is basically a Woods. Woods made it for Ford, and Ford just put their name and their color on it. But I want to rebuild the gearbox in it. It needs new seals, and along with the seals, while I have it apart, I'm just going to put new bearings in. I have new bearings and new races I'm going to put in too. So if you like these videos, please share them, subscribe to the channel, share them with friends, family, and really appreciate it. So until next time, thanks.